live to the Electoral Commission head office here in the Greater Accra region. The Electoral Commission Chair, Jean Mensah, is addressing the media. Let's listen in.
From the Kwanbenya constituency, we'd like to welcome all of you warmly. We thank the good Lord for making it possible for us to witness the last day of the year. Indeed, to him be all the glory. Great things he has done and greater things he will do. Our purpose here this afternoon is simple. It is to provide you, the citizens of Ghana, with an update of the parliamentary elections in the Kwanbenya constituency. As you may be aware, on the eve of the election, some leaders of political parties asked their supporters to go into our collation centers, and this led to chaos and some confusion. And Kwanbenya, the constituency, was no exception. The collation center was besieged by party supporters who brought collation there to a halt. In the process, pink sheets, results, collation forms, and other materials were destroyed. And collation was not completed on that day. Since then, as a commission, we try to ensure the completion of the collation. And as you may bear witness, we held the first exercise to complete the collation in the Kwanbenya constituency on the 21st of December. Unfortunately, although we came a long way, we were not able to complete it because there were 3 polling station pink sheets outstanding. In our second attempt to complete the process, we again brought together the parties, basically the NDC and the MPP, and with their agents to assist us to bring the collation to a completion to enable us to declare the outcome of the election. That collation was held on the 28th, just this past Saturday, the 28th of December. At that meeting, the NDC was able to provide 2 pink sheets, which was confirmed by our staff at the constituency. Unfortunately, there was a missing pink sheet, 1 pink sheet for the Abukobi Women's Training Center. And both the NDC and the NPP did not have these sheets. It's important to note that the NPP did not have any pink sheets, any of the 3 pink sheets at all. But after scrutinizing the pink sheets presented by the NPP, they were found to be legitimate, and they tallied with what we had also found. The missing link was this polling station sheet, which none of the parties had, and it was for the Abukobi Women's Training Center. It's important to note that in the attempts to recollate, our officer had brought a pink sheet for the Abukobi Women's Training Center, but it bore on the face of it training. It had written on the face of it the word training, and it was a presidential pink sheet. And so, in the view of the commission, a training pink sheet had no business at the polling station on election day, and upon scrutinizing it, the commission was of the view that it could not be accepted. It's important to note that the parties also did not have any evidence. Both NDC and MPP did not have the pink sheets to confirm whether what was written on the training sheet was legitimate and was accurate. And so in the view of the commission and in the interest of fairness, the commission felt that it was proper to rerun the election for that particular polling station to ensure fairness. We have always maintained as a commission that it is not, our interest is not to make anybody a president. And this is something we have said across board to all our officers. Our interest is to conduct credible and transparent elections that are fair, that ensure that the will of the people as expressed at the polls is upheld. And so once none of the parties had any pink sheets to confirm, and they both said no, we agreed at that meeting that we should have a rerun. It's important to note that at that meeting, the NDC agreed with the idea to have a rerun. The MPP was of the view that they did not have, because their agents had left the center they had not taken part in the collation, and therefore they wanted the commission to start the collation afresh. We explained to them that the commission had received all the pink sheets, and I think that was 369, I believe it's this. 369 polling stations, and we had cross-checked that against what had been done by the returning officer, and it was accurate. It was just that one missing, and that is why we took the decision to have a rerun. And this, as I said, was agreed to by the NDC. Since then, we have not rested on our oars, and we've tried to unearth and unravel how we came by. In all of this, as you may be aware, we had reached out to the returning officer and our district officer, but we did not have any explanation for the use of the training sheet. What they had said was the presiding officer realized at the point of filling the form that what she had was a presidential pink sheet, and therefore she used a presidential training sheet. It didn't add up. It was not convincing. And so 2 days ago, as a commission, in our investigation, we had the light bulb moment that why don't we really do away with all the party agents at the Collation Center, because they have not been able to provide us the information we need. Why don't we go to the ground? Rather than deal with collation agents at the Collation Center, why don't we identify, look out for the agents, the polling agents at the Abukobi Training Center? And so we took steps. We reached out to the parties, and we were able to do that. The PO was out of town. We were able to also reach her and asked her to come, return back to Accra to answer a few questions. This morning, we met with her, and she explained to us how she arrived at the training. She arrived at using the pink sheet for presidential training, with training embossed on it. It's important to note that she did not have this training sheet with her on election day. And it's also important to note that contrary to what is being peddled in the news, though that training sheet was not signed by party agents. The question has been asked that, oh, it's the EC sheet, why are they not using it? Training sheets have no place at the polling station, and that's why we are not using it. It was not a parliamentary pink sheet, polling, even training, it was presidential, and it was not signed by any of the party agents. What she has explained is that, as I mentioned, she recognized that she did not have the parliamentary pink sheet, she had the presidential. And so she tallied everything on paper. She had both agents of the NPP and the NDC confirm the figure, and they decided, they agreed to go to the Collation Center to obtain a copy of the parliamentary pink sheet. Once there, they were informed to go to the district office. On their way there, unfortunately, they were accosted by some thugs who threatened their lives, and in the process, she fled. The good news is that she had this sheet in her bag, but she fled. And she says that the agents also dispersed and they all left. And so none of them had the results. She had it on a sheet. I'm happy to note, however, that the parties, although we did not have a pink sheet for parliamentary signed and completed at that level, each party also had their own tally cards. And on that tally sheets, they have the number of persons who came through. They had all the details, including the results, the total for each political party. And we have received that of the NPP. Although they are not present here, the presiding officer, some days after the election, reached out to the agents, the party agents, and the agents for the NPP sent his copy. And we've seen that we have the evidence and their communication. And it tallies that of what our presiding officer had on the training sheet. We have also met with the NDC, agent, and we've also taken a record of his tally sheet, which also contains the number of people who came to the center and the votes for each of the parties, and they tally. And that has enabled us to arrive at a completion today. So today, the Commission is pleased to note that it has brought proceedings and collation at the Kwanbenya constituency to a close. It has gone full circle, and we are convinced without a shadow of doubt that the outcome reflects the will of the people as expressed at the polls. I think that yes. So as mentioned, ours is not to make anybody president. It is to ensure that our outcomes and our processes guarantee that the people's choice is upheld. So we're happy to note that we have come full circle today, and the outcome of that election has been confirmed as being legitimate, as being the choice of the people. I think at this point it is not in my place to make that declaration, and I'll hand over to our MC to take over and to let proceedings continue. Thank you. So we'd like to thank you. We know it's been a long road. I think that the lesson in it is that our processes must be allowed to work. I know that the candidate has been through quite a bit, but the processes must be allowed to work. And I like to also place on record that we don't rest on our oars here. And we're burning the midnight oil to ensure that, the right thing is done. And we're pleased that, we had that flash, that light bulb moment to go down, to drill down to the ground. And that has brought out the truth. And the truth will be upheld. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Madam. At this point, we'd like to call
Did I leave anything out?
Mr. James Kofi. And we also like to invite close to the returning officer. So first, I'll hand over the mic to Mr. James Kofi. Zachary Akufi to do the declaration, and then the symbolic aspects will be done by.
Let's see your face.
You can get up to stand up. Yeah, stand up. Yes.
Then you should move. You want him to?
You want him to use the mic. Boss, move it. He's going to stand here.
Well, live visuals there from the EC's headquarters here in the Greater Accra region. We're just giving you updates as to what the EC has decided to do moving forward. They are about to declare the results for Kwanbenya. If you recall, Kwanbenya seat has been contested for a while now, and declaration of results in that polling center has been quite difficult. The EC tried to do recollation in that specific collation constituency, but they faced a lot of difficulties. Finally, 3 different individuals came forward, 3 different polling stations, I beg your pardon. They decided to collate. But I can hear a gentleman speaking right now. Let's listen in. We'll come back and just give you a wrap so that you get a sense of what exactly is happening at Kwanbenya as we speak.
On the face of the bin sheet, we have Michael Aaron Yao Okwe Jr. polled 50,669 votes, 50669. Akurugu Faustina Elikplim polled 50,967 votes, 50967. Dora Nyako polled 220 votes, that is 220. And Remy Parker Edmondson polled 302, that is 302. The total valid votes 102,158, 102,158. The total rejected ballots 624, that is 624. The total vote cast, that is 102,782, that is 102,782. Now, with the power invested in me as the return officer for Kwanbenya constituency, and in the presence of the returning officer for the presidential election, I declare Madam Akurugu Faustina Elikplim as the MP elect for Kwanbenya. Thank you.
That's what you do. Do your work.
Okay, so this is Madam Akurugu Faustina Elikplim. I declare, yes, by the power invested in me as a returning officer, I declare Madam Akurugu Faustina Elikplim as the MP elect for Kwanbenya constituency. Thank you. Yes, this is my copy.
This is your copy?
Yeah, I think the agent
Copy has been given to her.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'd like to end the updates in the session. Thank you for coming, and then have a happy new year in advance. See you as you cross over. Thank you. Some have closing prayer. Indeed, you are God, and you've been merciful and gracious to us in all that we do. It's just by your grace and Lord we go to finish this process.
Our live visuals there on your screens from the EC headquarters here in the Greater Accra region. News just reaching us that Faustina Elikplim has been declared the MP elect for Kwanbenya. And we would be discussing what this means moving forward. If you recall, the EC was supposed to give us a date for re-elections at one polling center in Kwanbenya constituency because of the whole contention about the pink sheets which was used to record the results for that particular polling center, which is at Bokobi Women's Center. Now, the contention actually stemmed from the day that the election closed at 5 p.m. that Saturday. They were unable to collate the results and finally declare the results because of 3 polling stations were outstanding. The EC tried to do collation. The NDC provided 2 pink sheets from 2 of these collation centers out of the 3, and that aided the EC with putting together this data. But I'm just told right now that my colleague is engaged in Elikplim. Let's listen to her victory speech after that announcement from Jean Mensah.
We all know that the elephant is a big animal, and when you kill it before it finally dies, it has to take time and it has to struggle. And so today, finally, the elephant is dead, and Kwanbenya has come to stay.
What did the magic?
It's hard work. It's hard work and dedication, and of course prayers. that led us to this victory. So on this note, I want to thank everybody who came on board. I mean, during the this long hours. In fact, the Xmas, it didn't go well for me because of the up and down. Today you are being called, tomorrow you are here and you are there. So I just want to thank all those who came on board to support us. And the victory, the voice of the people has finally spoken. And so to God be the glory. Great things he has done and greater things he will do.
What should the constituents expect?
Oh, of course. They should expect. Now, the MP-elect, the next thing is to start work. You know, Kwanbenya has always been for the MPP, and this is the first time the NDC has taken that seat. And so it's hard work that will make the people maintain me for long. And so it's all going to be hard work, and the hard work starts today. And so I want to thank the constituents for having that trust in me and then giving me this mandate. And I can promise them that we are going to make sure Kwanbenya becomes a place that everybody will love to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr.
After the struggle, now you've gotten what you want. Tell me, how do you feel now?
Well, we will say to God be the glory. As a party, let me take this opportunity to thank the Electoral Commission. I mean, Madam Jean Mensah. When they do well, we'll congratulate them. But when they do mistake, we'll fire. Yes, I mean, we'll thank them for the path they've taken. Because clearly, like we stated earlier, there was no need to embark on that path. Because clearly the people spoke loudly. They voted for Madam Akurugu, and we wanted their vote to stand. And then so we push, and finally they reasoned with us. So we have to thank them, the Electoral Commission, for having reasoned well with us and for having abandoned the process that they were trying to engage in. We know the situation it was created for the country. It was going to mar the beauty of whatever they were doing all over. So we thank them, the Electoral Commission, for having done this yeoman's job. And I always state, when they do the right thing, we will thank them. If they go outside the right thing, we will fire. We'll make sure that we'll bring them onto the right path, and then Ghanaians will benefit.
What is the right thing? Is it because if it does not go your way, it's wrong, and if it goes your way, it's right, or there's something that they did wrong that you bashed in at them, or something?
Clearly, the people voted for Madam, and they themselves confirm it. It wasn't the mistake of the electorate. The mistake was not from the electorate. The mistake was not from the candidate. The mistake was not from the agent. It was from the presiding officer. And she agreed. What happened? And so therefore, you did need not punish our candidate or the electorate. And so that has been our position. And clearly, they reasoned to us. And then they made it. So if clearly they had gone to the other side, of course, that would have been natural justice would have demanded that we follow that path. And also we are grateful for that. Yes, all the forces are going for NDC. We won the seat fairly. Clearly, what we are fighting over there at the High Court is all tomorrow that they are going to give a ruling on our objection that we raised, the preliminary objection. And it's very clear. What they did is that they are trying to use a back door to get whatever they are looking for. In fact, they are looking to come through a back door to have a petition filed. That is the form they are trying to do. And that is why our lawyers raised that objection. You cannot use that method, mandamus, to get that kind of method, because those declarations were made. What is all here is not a real declaration. They're just confirming what they have declared already. Nothing has changed. Okay, DS is different. They want to now come, do another collation, and do another declaration. That is illegal. It's not known to the law. And that is why we've been saying it. It's completely illegal. And I told you, that Burunya thing they went and did, you see that it has stayed in their face. It won't happen. What we know is that those 4 seats, we want them fairly. And I'm very sure tomorrow they will throw them out. That mandamus will not stand. What is mandamus? You want to force a state institution to carry out its mandate, its duty, that it has not carried out. They've carried out the duty. Those returning officers, they are in charge. And they carry out. You, the media, you capture it. You saw the declaration in Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, and Ablikwano. You walked through it. It was captured live on your television station. So why can somebody go to court and said, EC has not done collation, they have not done declaration, so you are forcing them to come and do collation and do declaration. What is that? So we are clear in our mind. Tomorrow, our objection will be upheld by the trial judge, and this Mandomo will be dead on arrival, and the 4 MPs will be sworn into office. You see, we have just captured Domi Kwanbenya. Thank God to glory. These people, they wanted to use a back door to get it. We've thrown them out. It's level 4. We'll capture that one too. Right.
So that's the Deputy Director of IT for the NDC. So the breaking news is that the EC has declared the NDC as the winners for the parliamentary elections in the Dome Kwanbenya constituency, specifically with regards to the Abokobi Women's Training Center polling station 2, which had issues with its resource. The EC today, Jane Mensah, has confirmed that after they conducted their internal investigations, they have been able to identify the results for the polling stations, even though the NDC and the MPP, both agents or reps, could not validate the results. They were able to, through their investigations, able to identify the results because the presidential election results, when they compared to the other officers or the MPP and NDC and other parties, their agents' results, which weren't entered on the right pin sheet, it was correlating, so they had to accept that result. But the reason why the EC says that the parliamentary results for the Abokobi Women's Training Center was entered on a wrong sheet was that the EC returning officer had no parliamentary sheet there, parliamentary pink sheet, a pink sheet for the parliamentary results. So the returning officer decided to write the results on the presidential training sheet, and at the time that she got to know that she had no pink sheet for the parliamentary, she made attempt to get the sheet, the pink sheet, but on her way to the district office, she was being attacked by certain thugs. So as a result, she flew away and she came back and decided to write the pink sheet on that. And the returning officer herself also has explained to them through investigations that they conducted, or they began 2 days ago. So after that, results that they were able to obtain from the Dome Kwanbenya constituency is that NDC's Elikplim Akurugu obtained 50,967 votes. 50,967 votes, and Mike Okoye Jr., who is also the parliamentary candidate for the MPP, obtained 50,669 votes. 50,669 votes, and also making the total valid votes or the total accepted ballots also stood at 102,158. 102,158 was the accepted ballots for the Dome Kwanbenya constituency, and also the rejected votes stood at 624. 624. Total votes was 102,782. Total votes for Dome Kwanbenya was 102,782. So the EC, the Electoral Commission, today has declared Faustina Elikplim Akurugu as the winner for the parliamentary elections in the Dome Kwanbenya constituency. So the breaking news is that Elikplim has won for the first time, making the NDC making history in the constituency, because the NDC has never won the Dome Kwanbenya constituency since the constituency was established in 2004. The NDC has never won it. Today, the EC has confirmed that the NDC have made history within the Dome Kwanbenya elections, parliamentary elections. There will be no rerun at the Abokobi Women's Training Center in the constituency. Faustina, back to you in the studios.
Thank you, Collins, for bringing us that update. If you just tuned in, we give you the latest when it comes to elections, because we are your election headquarters. And news reaching us just now is that the NDC's Elikplim Akurugu has been declared the MP-elect for Dome Kwanbenya. The whole contention about that seat, the EC has brought finality to it. They initially wanted to organize a rerun for one polling center, which is the Abokobi Women's Polling Center at Dome Kwanbenya, to bring finality to the collation process, which have stalled because of differences The NDC helped with 2 pink sheets from 2 polling centers because they had 3 outstanding polling centers. They had to collate the results to declare the winner for that constituency. And unfortunately, they didn't have the last one. The EC just told us today that after the liberation, they have decided that they would go with the figure they were working with. Unfortunately, that data was not imputed on the actual pink sheet for parliamentary candidates, but they have that data and they have decided to work with it. After collating the results, Elikplim won that seat. It's the first time since Kwanbenya constituency was created that the NDC is winning that seat. The MP for the area currently, Adwa Safo, is exiting parliament. Michael Quay Jr. was actually contesting that seat for the NPP. Unfortunately, he has lost that seat, and we're just looking at how things will play out. The NDC, we heard from Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, commending the EC for yeoman's job. It's the first time we're seeing public commendation from the NDC for the EC because it appears to be tilting in their favor. Now, we also told you earlier that tomorrow the High Court would actually give its verdict, having had the mandamus application being put forward by 4 NPP parliamentary candidates. They are challenging the collation process, and they are also looking forward to see the High Court rule in their favor. How that will pan out tomorrow, you need to stick and stay with us here on the Joe News channel. Now, away from that, Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has criticized President Akufo-Addo's recent National Award ceremony, accusing him of rewarding murderers and individuals he termed as looters. Well, we'll hear from him after this quick term. Stay with us.